Welcome to Lesson 9. In today's lesson, we are going to work on this shape, sort of a curved vase shape. Let me make it clear so we can see inside, see the shapes we're dealing with. We will use the Revolve feature again, as we have in a couple of the previous lessons. I want to back up and look at those. Let's actually go back to Lesson 6. We made this round shape. And we did this with a series of circular sketches and extrusions. Draw a circle, extrude it, finish that one. We put a hole on the back end. We draw another circle here. We extrude that. And through that, through creating solids and then cutting away a little bit right here for this undercut, we created that round shape. When we got to Lesson 7, we made another round part, but this time we used the Revolve feature and created a revolution. We made this all in one sketch. Remember, that is a center line, that long dash, short dash. That is a center line so that as we create dimensions around that center line, if we dimension from center line to outside edge, it creates that diameter dimension that we want to know that we have that full diameter on our part. This part could have been done with a circular sketch and an extrusion, another circle sketch and an extrusion, and another. Lesson 8 was similar. If we get rid of all of these fillets and the shell where we hollowed it out, again, we did use the center line and we revolved that feature. But this one as well could have been done with a circle and an extrusion, another circle, an extrusion, and so on. Then we added the fillets to round off the corners, did a shell to make it hollow, and finally a little fillet at the top. Lesson 9, this shape would not lend itself as well to drawing circles and extruding. We see the curve that it has here. Now, if we look at the sketch that I used to create it, we have a couple of arcs, we have a center line, we have the two horizontal lines that make our flat base, and then we have this little top edge here. Attempt to recreate this part. I don't want to just go through this dimension by dimension and copy it exactly. I want to just kind of start from scratch and knowing what it is that we want to create, but I want to make a new part, start from scratch, and see how we would go about kind of organically creating this as we work through the shape. We'll start again, as usual, start a new 2D sketch on the XY plane. What I do know that I want to start with is a center line, so we'll start by sketching a line. We will tell Inventor that it is to be a center line. We will start at the origin, take it straight up, finish that line. We'll zoom out a little bit and make it 6 inches tall. Now that we have set the height, let's create another line, turn off center line. We're done with that. Come down to the bottom, and we will draw a horizontal line that we want to become the base of the vase. Let's create another horizontal line that will be the inside. And then up here at the top, let's make a construction line that we will use for the top edge of the vase. Now we need a couple of arcs to create the curved sides. Use the 3-point arc. And with the 3-point arc, we define 2 endpoints. And then we create the curve. I realize that is still on construction geometry. We can fix that just by clicking the line, come up here, click that construction button to turn that off. So that gives us one curve. Let's create, oops, not line, we need an arc. Create another arc, click on that inside bottom. Come up here to the top, I want a rather narrow rim at the top. And then sort of adjust that to get the shape that we want. Again, still on construction, I need to pay attention. Next time I create one, I need to come and turn that off. Now I won't be creating any more construction geometry as I go. I want to put in one more little feature. Let's add our line at the top. to join those two ends. So that keeps it on that construction line, keeps our height set, but gives us the ability now to drag things around a little bit. Just a little warning, sometimes when you're dealing with arcs, things can go bad real fast, so we need to start getting dimensions on things as quickly as possible. The more of this that we start to drag around, things can act weird. So I want to undo that, get back to our basic shape. Let's start by giving this bottom a thickness. Make that 3/8. We need to look now at things that can move. I want to keep these two bottom points a certain distance apart. We'll give that 1/4 inch. Again, all of these we could come back and adjust later and play with these numbers to get the effect that we're looking for. Let's give this a real skinny top. Let's make this 0.060, 60 thousandths. Now we should be fairly well locked in place. Let's see what can move. Okay, realize the base of this needs a diameter. Let's give the base a diameter of 3 inches. We need to constrict the top. Let's make that be 3 inches as well for now. So the top and the bottom diameters for now are the same. So now I can still adjust the diameter or the radius of these arcs. Let's come in and put some dimensions on this. Let's make that 5 and make that 6. We're getting a little too thin up here in this area. Let's make that, let's see, 6.5. Maybe we need to go even bigger. 7. I see we're going the wrong way now. I need to shrink that down. 5.5. That gives us a little bit better curve. Just look at what happens if I make this, as this inside arc gets bigger and bigger, then that increases that wall thickness. One thing that we can do as we adjust this, as we want to play with some of the numbers, finish our dimension mode, click on this one and make it a driven dimension. Puts it in parentheses, and that means we can come up here and we can drag some of these things around, and we can make it be any shape that we want. See, that took it down to 2.5 inches, 3 1/4. Then if we decide we like the way that looks, we might want to make it exactly 3.25. Then we can lock it in place. I can do the same thing here. Make this 5.5 a driven dimension. Now I can drag it around a little bit. Notice with everything else constrained, things don't fly apart quite so bad. Maybe I like the look of that wall right there. About 5.833 is where it landed. Let's click on that. Turn off driven dimension. Let's make it a little bit nicer, round number, 5.875, which is 5 7/8. Again, we can always come back, change these dimensions, not a big deal, but let's finish this sketch. Zoom back out. Revolve this feature, automatically selects our center line. Say OK. Come up here to the top. This is our appearance. Let's scroll up to the clear. Let's make this one green. We might want to add just a little bit more smoothing here. Let's add an 1/8 inch radius down there. And there we have our vase. Now that we have it, we can see the shape. We can always come back, edit this sketch. Can make it shorter, make it taller, change this to a driven dimension, and see what I can drag around. Drag that top line up and down. Play with all the numbers until we get a shape that we like. We are free to do whatever we want with it. But when you're done, turn off the driven dimensions. If you want to make it, more round numbers, we can do that. Finish sketch, and there it adjusts. And we're going to call that one done for lesson 9. Come back for lesson 10. We're going to use Revolve again, but add a few more techniques as well to continue building on what we have learned, but to continue to grow your knowledge and skills as you progress with Inventor.